Hey guys, Amanda from the Homestead Quest here. So right now I'm sitting in my car in the parking lot of our local Northwest Seed and Pet store. Right now I'm starting to think about spring. I know it seems a little bit early, but I'm starting to really want to get things planned and mapped out. So part of why I'm here is to have a little bit of a seed haul. I want to look at some seeds, start thinking about what I want to put in my garden and where. I'm also hoping to check out what their cage situation may be for rabbits. I am wanting to buy a couple rabbits for composting purposes. So I'm gonna go in there, poke around at some seeds, look at some cages. I thought this would be the perfect vlog day. So I'm gonna bring you guys along and we're gonna go in and check it all out. So come along with me today and let's go get some seeds. Alright guys, so I'm back in my car. I wanted to speak more while I was in there, but the music in there was super loud. But I'm gonna go ahead now and show you the seeds that I've got. When I'm in there looking for seeds, I really have to pull myself back by the reins because I get overexcited because seeds are just like one of my favorite things to shop for. Okay, I'm gonna show you the beans that I got. So I'm very excited about these. They are pole fillet beans and they are called French Gold. So last year I did green and purple and I was kind of bummed that I didn't get some of these gold beans. Alright guys, and I also got my German chamomile seeds. If you've been following me on my Facebook page and Instagram, you know that I love chamomile and I was posting about it the other day. So I live in the Pacific Northwest and specifically I need German chamomile because it is cold hardy. I can start these like very early spring, even actually a couple weeks before spring starts, and they self-seed and they are wonderful. It's going to be good for my bees. I'm going to have tea and I'm very excited to grow chamomile again this year. All right, and here's one that I'm really excited about. I grew up not really liking honeydew and I've actually acquired a taste for it. I think it's very delicious with lime juice and tahini. And I was talking to my father-in-law a few weeks ago and he said that his mom used to grow honeydew in her garden and he's never had honeydew that's ever tasted the same since. It just is bland. He doesn't care for it now. And I believe him because it's not going to be the same at the store as homegrown, especially if you're growing it organically and it's getting all of the natural sunlight and good compost that it needs. So I got some organic honeydew seeds and I'm determined to grow honeydew that Joe loves and is at least similar to the taste of the honeydew that his mother grew for him growing up. So I'm very excited to have found this. I also really love arugula and I saw a pack of these so I grabbed some arugula and I thought this was really cute. I have a lot of containers that I need to fill this year. They're called Little Prince container eggplants and that's as big as they get, and I don't know if I'm really a fan of eggplant. I've had eggplant like roasted before and it was pretty good, but I think I'm gonna find a way to enjoy these because they're just cute is essentially why I got them if we're gonna be honest. And then I got an heirloom green, just like it's called a quick stir fry blend. Let's see what it has in it. Mispuna, mustard. Oh, it has mustard greens, wild garden kale, and It says Great Wave mild mustards. And then I just got one package of pickling cucumbers. I'm gonna probably go online to order the different varieties of cucumbers that I'm gonna use this year. And believe it or not, that's a really small seed haul. Like I said, I had to like pull myself back by the rains. Just being in there, it makes me excited. I mean, as you can see, it's like raining and gross here, and it just makes me like yearn for spring and the prospect of starting seeds. And I'm really excited for this year too, because I'm going to be starting my seeds in a greenhouse. So that's very exciting, and I'm just very happy to have gotten started. Again, very small seed haul. This is not even a tenth of the seeds that I'm going to be acquiring this year. I do also have a seed bank that I'll show you when I get home, which is where I'm on my way to now. So we're gonna go home and I'm gonna show you guys a drawn out plan of my garden and start to show you kind of what my plans are and where I'm kind of wanting to put things. And I'll show you the seeds I have and all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna get back on the road and get home, and we will start looking at all that kind of stuff. All right guys, so I am back home and I wanted to show you my seed collection. So this bag of seeds I've been collecting for the last few years. And I keep them in this bag, obviously to consolidate them, but I also keep them in the bag because I keep my seeds and store them in the freezer. So seeds will stay fresh and will remain dormant in the freezer. So say you don't get to these seeds for years and years and years, they're gonna stay good in the freezer. Now, if you don't store your seeds in the freezer, chances are they're gonna stay vital for pretty long anyways. But this way they are guaranteed to. So you notice seeds obviously survive winters. It's because they're laying dormant. The moment that sun comes out and it's at a constant temperature, you know, they germinate and they're good to go. So it's a pretty similar concept to the freezer. This keeps them preserved essentially for a much longer time. And I guess I should look through what I have so that I know what I don't need to pick up this year. But then again, it's like I love buying and storing seeds, so I kind of just want to buy more seeds anyways. Instead of like a shopping addiction for clothes, I have like a shopping addiction for seeds. So I love Rebel Gardens, by the way. If you guys are looking for online options for seeds, Rebel Gardens is one of my favorite places to order online. You can get them off of Amazon. It's an organic seed company. And I just love that they're called Rebel Gardens because it's, I forget their mission statement, but it has to do with like, join the rebellion because you're growing your own food. And that's really like, that speaks to me. So let's see what kind of tomatoes I have to work with. Ooh, I have red cherry, green zebra, and I kind of want to try those this year. Ooh, golden jubilee, that will be fun. Brandywine pink, big rainbow, I think that would be a fun one to do. And then beefsteak. So those will be good. I think out of those this year, I'll definitely do red cherry, the green zebra, the golden jubilee, and maybe the big rainbow, and one kind of tomato plant that's not in here that I want to grow that I'm gonna have to get additional seeds for is yellow pear. Those are Ezra's favorite, and I just really love the little yellow tomatoes, so I'm gonna get those as well. Let's see what else we got. So these are kind of interesting. It's a gourd. It's called a hard-shelled gourd. It's called a Corsican. Anyways, essentially, it's a big gourd that you grow, and then you dry it out, and you can make it into bowls. And I guess that the Native Americans used to do this. And you see the designs on the outside there. I love to wood burn, so it is my mission to grow these. I have tried growing these for 3 years in a row. They're really hard to germinate. I've tried them the different ways they suggest. You either soak them in water overnight for 24 hours, then you plant them, or you actually like nick the side of the seed with like nail clippers, and that's supposed to help as well. I got one of these to germinate last year. Big, beautiful leaves, and it was wonderful, but I started it a little too late in the year. So it just never came to fruition. But I am on a mission, you guys, to get to grow these. Like, I will use up the rest of my seeds trying to make sure that I get one of these plants to successfully grow some of these gourds, because I've been unsuccessful, and I'm determined to grow these and to get them big enough to actually like make them into a bowl. And nasturtiums, I'm really wanting to grow these this year. These are an edible flower. They're beautiful, really good for pollinators. This is going to be very good for my bees. I'm going to be really focused on like herbal flowers and edible flowers and flowers that are just good for bees, because I want my bees to have a really good food source in my backyard. Oh, I don't know why this isn't in my tomato bag. It's a different brand, but these are black cherry tomatoes. I'm going to want to do this as well. I'm going to grow a lot of tomatoes, you guys. I don't love tomatoes personally, and my daughter loves tomatoes, and my father-in-law loves tomatoes. So I essentially grow them for them, and I do enjoy like watching them grow, harvesting them. They're a very giving plant. So I'm going to be growing a lot of tomatoes this year. I have some bachelor's button. I believe these are edible as well. I'm gonna have to double check on that. Don't be eating bachelor's button without looking it up first. I'm pretty sure these are edible as well. They're very pretty, and the bees will love those as well. Borage, very good for bees, also an edible plant. Dill, I'm gonna be wanting to grow a bunch of dill because I'm gonna be learning to preserve. I know I keep telling you guys I'm gonna be doing preserving videos. I have most of my canning equipment. I just need to get the pot. I got like the cage and the clamps and all of the stuff I need. I just need to get the pot. And once I do, I'm going to do a video. I'm actually going to invite my best friend Brittany on to help out, and because she wants to learn as well, and it will be like good support, because not going to lie, I know that canning is a skill that I have to acquire, and I so want to. I'm just a little bit intimidated just because of the botulism aspect of it. I just want to make sure that any food while I'm learning that I preserve is safe for me and anyone else who's eating it. And you know, you have to like sanitize your jars. There's a certain way amount of time you have to boil and water bath them. I also want to pickle, but I don't want to just fridge pickle. I want to do pickling with pickling solution and do a water bath to that so they can be shelf stable. And I know that I'm going to be able to do it. I know it's not going to be as scary as it seems to me, but just getting there is kind of, you know, it's intimidating, but we're going to do it. And I'm thinking maybe this week I'm going to go on Amazon, order that big pot, a canning pot. I might even get a pressure canner, and I'm going to start doing the videos. I promise, like, spring is not going to come without me doing preserving videos, because I have to learn. I had so much harvest this year, and a little bit more than I'd like to admit didn't get preserved. A lot of it went to chickens before it went bad, because we had a surplus, which we want, but you need to be able to preserve them for it to make sense to grow all of that extra food. So it's important. I will be doing that. So yes, the dill is important because I'm going to want to make dill pickles. This is something else that would be cool to grow. I got this bag of seeds for free at a little seed swap. I was able to sell some seedlings at this place, and this lady gave me this little container, this little baggie of seeds, and this is tobacco. And while I don't really partake in smoking that much, I do occasionally enjoy a good cigar, and I just think it would be kind of a fun and interesting thing to grow. So I'm gonna do a little bit of research and see if I can't grow some tobacco. Because while it's fun, obviously, to grow food, all of these, like, the miscellaneous things are so much fun too, like these gourds and the tobacco. I just think learning how to grow all of this new different stuff is a lot of fun. I have some leftover Jacky Little pumpkin seeds as well, and I'm going to be growing a bunch of pumpkins. I'm going to do the Jacky Little pumpkins again, the Casparita White. I'm forgetting the name, but they also have a mini pumpkin that's kind of like a grayish green color that I really like. And then I think I'll just pick one variety of large pumpkin, and I think that's gonna be the Cinderella pumpkins. The only reason I am not gonna grow more big pumpkins is honestly lack of space. I'm not willing to give up one of my big garden beds for pumpkins just because they are more for fun than food source. And then here's some pickling cucumbers. I am doing cucumbers again this year. Here in a minute, I'm going to draw out my garden bed for you and show you my rough draft plan for the year. So that arched trellis I have, every year I'm going to do beans on one side, cucumbers on the other, and then switch every year. So pole beans and beans in general, for instance, they actually release nitrogen into your soil, which is really, really good for soil. So when I switch the cucumbers and the pole beans this year, the cucumbers are going to be benefiting from the nitrogen that the pole beans were releasing into the soil all year last year. So, and vice versa for whatever the cucumbers have released into the soil as well. It's very important to rotate your vegetable plants. I'm also going to be growing mammoth sunflowers this year. I really, really want to grow like a huge one of these. I've been seeing on Instagram and Facebook just people growing these to be huge. So I'm going to start these as early as I can and ultra feed them because I just want one of those super tall, super huge sunflowers. So I think I'm going to dedicate maybe like 3 or 4 really big containers to some sunflowers. And what's good about these two, not only are they very pretty, but at the end of the summer, you kind of just lob off their heads and you just lob them off at the top and then feed them to the chickens. And they love sunflower seeds. It's very good for them. So they also pay you back in food for your chickens. I also have some sugar baby watermelon seeds. These are ones that I actually harvested from one of my sugar baby watermelons. There's also a little baggie within this baggie with sugar baby watermelon seeds that I've ordered. And I've not been exactly successful growing my sugar baby watermelons the last couple years. I didn't even try last year. The year before, I was able to grow one and it was really good, but it was small for a sugar baby. And I just wasn't feeding it enough, but now I know how heavy of a feeder they are. I know how much space they need. They're pretty similar to pumpkins in the spaces that they need and the amount of food that they need. So I really want to grow those this year. Here are some asparagus seeds. I would love to grow asparagus. I just haven't started because, and I know the more I say this, the longer it's going to prolong it, but growing asparagus is like a 3-year process from seed to being able to harvest. So you start your asparagus, it takes about 3 years for them to establish and mature, and then you never have to plant it again. It will come back up each year, you can harvest it, and it's great, which is amazing. But I just don't have a garden space or an area that I'm willing to do that with. I thought about putting them where I'm going to be planting the chamomile, which is that area alongside of the house. But the thing is, that means that that's permanent and it would be a 3-year process. And I don't know if I'm going to be in this house in 3 years. And while it would be very good stewardship and then like ensure that the next people get asparagus, I don't even know if they're going to be gardeners and if they won't just rip it out when I leave. Sometimes we play with the idea of putting an awning over that side of the house and then there won't be enough sun for the asparagus. And other than that, I really don't have a space for it. So that's asparagus I really want to grow, but I think that's going to have to be a vegetable that I wait till I have enough room to grow, because it does. Once you plant asparagus, it will be growing in the place that you planted it forever, which is amazing. Not really conducive to the situation I'm in right now. So throughout this video, I didn't announce it, but you guys keep hearing me talking about flowers for my bees. I registered today for a apprentice beekeeping class in my area. It's going to be February 25th. I'm so excited. I have the bee box. I have the fenced off area. If you guys have been watching my videos from the summer, you know that I built an herb spiral and have my own herb garden in the back corner of my yard, and it's fenced off. And unfortunately, the herb spiral is going to be no more because that's where I'm going to put the bee box. The herb spiral, it just didn't really work out for my herbs. It was very pretty. The herbs just didn't like it there though, but my herbs in the containers are happy there, which I'm not going to move them, and those will also flower, provide food for the bees. But the herb spiral itself, we're going to move the rocks and level it out, which I know is kind of a bummer, but it's the perfect place for the bees. It's on the other side of the yard, so that way it will be in a nice, unprovoked space. And I'm just so excited. February is also when you order your bees. So, and I believe you introduce your bees in like late March, mid-April in this area. I mean, I have to double check. I know I'll learn from the class, so I'll let you guys know once I know. And I will do an episode of when I take the class. I'm not sure how much of it I can film while I'm taking. I'll film before and after and give you guys updates, and I'll film whatever I can. But what I am absolutely going to be filming is when I set up my bee box and introduce my bees. And I'm so stoked. You guys have no idea. Like, I think I was always meant to be a beekeeper. Like, this is... You guys probably think I'm the biggest nerd. Alright, so now that I've rambled forever, I'm gonna draw out my garden and I'm gonna discuss my garden plans with you guys and where everything's gonna go this year. Alright guys, so here is my rough draft plan. Some of this could change, but really I think the only thing that could change in my plan is where the onions and the tomatoes go. So essentially garden bed 1, which is where the carrots were last year, I'm wanting to put a trellis in the middle and grow tomatoes, and in future seasons grow other things that climb a trellis in there. This is the biggest garden bed. It's maybe about 4 inches wider than the other ones. And then in garden bed 2, I have strawberry plants planted there, and when you plant strawberries, they're there to stay. They come back every year. And then garden bed 3, I want to grow my carrots. Garden bed 4, I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to be putting onions there. Garden bed 5, cucumbers, and then garden bed 6, pole beans. And I had them swapped last season, and then I have this little arc here just to represent that there's an arced trellis there. And then obviously this is the long bed alongside the house where I'm going to put chamomile, and then the herb garden in the back left corner of my yard where I'm going to have my herbs and my bee box. And then off to the side here, I didn't draw it, but I do have 4 tires over here that I fill with dirt, and I've tried to grow potatoes back there last year. And I tried to grow potatoes back there last year, and it didn't really go that well, but I think it was mostly due to neglect. I was just so busy starting up the channel and getting everything ready in the garden that I planted potatoes, but it was really late in the season and they didn't do so well. So I'm kind of thinking I'm going to attempt potatoes over there again. And then also I have a long trellis on the side of, well, it's on the garden fence, and there's more space in between the garden beds and the fence than what's shown here. But I want to get like 2 or 3 of those really long deep containers as well. And put some things in there that will grow up the trellis. So I'm thinking that's probably the containers that I'm going to have here that's going to have stuff growing up the trellis. I think that's where I'm going to grow my pumpkins, those cool gourds that I was showing you. And then I also have a bunch of cloth containers that I'll put along the sides as well. And that's where I'll put things like those cute little eggplants that I was showing you. And then things like maybe borage and different stuff like that. So this is what I have so far. Like I said, plans can change. I'm sure 1 or 2 things will, but it's always good to have things planned out just as soon as possible. So I'm liking this so far, and it's going to be great. I'm really excited. Alright guys, that is it for me today. I know today wasn't a super eventful episode. It was more me rambling on about garden plans and seeds, but that kind of stuff really excites me. But just thank you guys so much for coming along with me on the quest. Thank you guys so much for watching today. My name's Amanda. This is the Homestead Quest.